Hello, and how the hell are you? Guys, it's July. And you guys probably don't know because I didn't know. But July in the United States of America is French American Heritage Month. And I've been doing these wrestlers from the different ethnicities, so forth, that you should know, and covering some history of some people you already knew, but things you didn't know about them, and people that you probably didn't know. And I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say I bet most of you don't know about the man pictured in the thumbnail, Maurice Tillet, the French Angel. Now, I am 100%, no, I'm 200 fucking percent motivated by this guy and this guy's story. I knew him by face. I knew of him per the old timers that I used to hang around, probably the Welsh family. And for you guys that don't know, they were continental wrestling and more. Their grandfather, Roy Welsh, is credited for taking wrestling out of the carnivals and circuses and bringing them to the arena. So, of course, if I'm around Robert Fuller, a.k.a. Welsh, I'm going to hear a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know. Maurice Tillet, the French Angel, was a Russian-born French professional wrestler, better known by his ring name, the French Angel. Tillet was a leading box office draw in the early 40s and was twice World Heavyweight Champion in the American Wrestling Association, run by Paul Bowser in Boston. Tillet was born, here's where it gets fucking cool. Tillet was born in 1903 in the Ural Mountains in Russia to French parents. His mother was a teacher and his father was a railroad engineer. Tillet's father died when he was young. I heard his father died when he was 8. As a child, he had a completely normal appearance and was given the nickname, the Angel, by his mother due to his beautiful, innocent face. I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the description so you guys can see what a handsome little guy this guy was when he was a boy. Anyway, she named him the Angel. In 1917, Tillet and his mother left Russia due to the revolution and they moved to France where they settled in Reims. When he was 20 years old, he noticed the swelling in his feet and hands and head, and after visiting the doctor, he was diagnosed with acromegaly, a condition usually caused by a benign tumor on the pituitary gland, resulting in bone overgrowth and thickening. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the same thing that Andre the Giant had, that Andre the Giant eventually died from. What happens is they outgrow their body, and Andre was in horrible, horrible pain. I don't think Tillet reached the amount of pain that he was in. Now dig this. This is motivational as all hell. Tillet completed his law degree at the University of Toulouse, but felt he would never be successful due to his deep voice and physical appearance. He served in the submarine service of the French Navy, who are our allies, by the way, for 5 years as an engineer. So we're talking about a guy with a rough upbringing, losing his old man early, and then being afflicted as a young man. We're not just being a normal-looking person, but being a fucking exceptional-looking person. He looked like a little angel as a kid. And I can say that because I'm a father. And then this guy gets his law degree, and on top of that, serves as an engineer for the French army. In February 1937, Tillet met Carl Pagello in Singapore. Pagello was a professional wrestler and persuaded Tillet to enter the business. Now, from what I read in another article, because there's a handful out there, and they're all old articles, so you guys probably wouldn't come across them. This guy, Carl Pagello, didn't give him a choice. I guess he really, you can't force anybody to do anything, but I bet at the end of the day, Tillet was proud or happy to the fact that this guy, Pagello, would not leave him alone. Tillet and Magello moved to Paris for training, and Tillet wrestled for 2 years in France and England, until World War II forced him to leave for the United States in 1939. In Boston, Massachusetts in 1940, Tillet, who was wrestling as the French Angel as a main eventer, became a large draw in the area. As a result of his popularity, Tillet was booked as unstoppable and was unbeaten for a span of 19 consecutive months. Again, he was the AWA in Boston heavyweight champion from May 1940 till May 1942. He reappeared in 44 for another run there. In 1945, Tillet's health began to fail and he was no longer advertised as unstoppable. As you guys know, the same thing happened with Andre the Giant. In his final match in Singapore on the 14th of February 1953, still working for the NWA Mid-South area, then known as Tri-State and owned by Leroy McGurk, he agreed to do the job to Bert Esserati, who must be an Italian. And in 1950, a Chicago sculptor, Louis Link, befriended Tillet and made a series of plaster busts commemorating him for his wrestling career. One of the busts is actually in Chicago's International Museum of Surgical Science. Another is now in the personal collection of Bruce Pritchard, and I've heard online that they've referred to it as Tillet's death mask, but I know Pritchard not well, but I know the type of person that he is, and I will guarantee goddamn to you, he didn't buy this thing as a freak show. He bought this thing because of his incredible love for wrestling and the history of our industry. And isn't it funny how a guy like that still has mega fucking juice at World Wrestling Entertainment? Sadly, Tillet died on September 4th, 1954 in Chicago, Illinois. He suffered from a heart attack after hearing of his friend and former trainer Carl Pagello's death. Tillet and Pagello, dig this, are buried together in the Lithuanian National Cemetery in Justice, Illinois, 20 miles south of Chicago. There, they share a fucking gravestone, guys. Their gravestone reads, "Friends whom even death couldn't part." Now, isn't that an amazing fucking story? This guy, and you got to remember, go ahead and look up the movie The Elephant Man. You'll see people with deformities like Tillet had, like the French Angel had, or like Andre the Giant had. They either hid, away from the public, they were never seen, they were never heard, or they went another route and went into freak shows. Well, Tillet flipped the script on that shit, and I heard that at one point when he was on top in the 40s, his net worth was over $500,000. So you see what I'm saying? That's somebody that should be looked up to and draws you a roadmap, i.e., you never, ever let anything get you down if you feel you're destined, man. You keep pushing. There's proof that you can do it if this guy can do it, The other thing about him is I heard that he had a wife when he was 19 years old, and he married young, and he loved her devoutly. In one way, shape, or form, they were in another country or part of Africa. And what happened there was when they went there on safari, which was not unpopular at the time if you had money, to go on safari. But what is unpopular is the fact that she was mauled and killed by a tiger right in front of him, and he couldn't do anything about it. I love the fact that he was so loyal to his friend, and I love the fact that an actual artist went out and didn't expose him for being a freak or freak show type human being. He commemorated him in art and busts. You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty fucking cool. From what I understand, he was a very likable individual and a very high intellect, So anyway, guys, please note this is being brought to you without YouTube commercials, so be cool. At least like and subscribe. In the description where you'll see at least one link, possibly two links if I can find the articles in an efficient enough time to see more about the French Angel Maurice Tillet. And also you'll see in the description links to help support Premier Pro Wrestling. There aren't that many of them, and I am just not going to go through a list of indie people that have never been anywhere or done anything with all their bad habits and honor someone just because they're French this month. What I am going to do, though, is find some key French wrestlers and French-American wrestlers like Mr. Tillet. Maybe he wasn't a French-American. My friend Luke Williams of the Bushwhackers is a U.S. dependent, but he spent all of his adult life living here in the United States. Maybe that's what Tillet did. But I'm going to go ahead and gather that that's pretty much what a citizen is anyway. The only thing they can't do is vote. They pay taxes, they buy property, blah, 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 blah. But I, for one, am very inspired by this, and I'll never understand this. You've got this internet wrestling fan today that will, try to rain on me because I say what Sky Blue needs to do to make any real money in this industry and make a living out of it. But those same internet wrestling fans just love and get off on watching poor Tammy Sitch fail, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of laughs at the appearance of the French angel Maurice Tillet. But hey, you know what? I guess we're in America. Your First Amendment right is protected. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Hope you learned something. I know I did. I had a shitty morning, and when I read up on Mr. Tillet, pumped me back the F up.